right, welcome back. So, just so you know, I mean, it looks like I'm laying on my couch, but I'm not, I'm sitting. It's just that this is all at an angle because my battery, went dead. And so it's now plugged into the side of the couch, so I'm trying to get you're at an angle because of the length of the cord and stuff. Anyway, so we're just gonna keep on trucking, okay? So what do you think's gonna happen? We'll find out what happens to Maria Dolores and Corey and Cinnamon and the dog nappers, okay? So we are in chapter 10. It's called Travis. Woo! Okay, are you ready? Here we go. The sun had just begun to warm the sidewalks when Samson made it back into town. Remember, Samson escaped when the door was open to the house where he was being kept, and Albert was concerned that he was seeing a ghost because of the shirt that went flying by him, but we know it was just Samson with his neck through the collar, right? And so Samson has walked all the way back home. It's a pretty long walk. So let's find out what happens. Maybe Samson will finally get to go home. All right? His shaggy hair was thickly covered with white dust. He lopped along the street, head held low. Travis passed the cat without giving him a second look. Then, near the corner, he stopped his bike and glanced back. There wasn't any other cat in Boca Cay as big as Samson. The cat padded toward him. Travis reached down to stop him, and Samson snarled. Huh! Travis grinned, jerking his hand away. You look like you've had a couple of bad days. Travis paddled along behind the cat for a few minutes thinking. Then he wheeled away and rode back to the corner market. He tried to keep an eye on the cat's progress while he waited in line to buy one of Easy Open Kitty dinners. 1 can of Easy Open Kitty dinners. When the clerk finally rang up the sale, Travis snatched up the can and hurried after the cat. He pulled the tab, stripping the lid from the can, and put it down for the cat. Samson ate hungrily, glancing up from time to time. Travis talked to him. By the time the can was empty, Samson was yawning. He didn't seem to mind when Travis picked him up and put him into the wire basket on the back of his bike. Travis took him to the warehouse office and settled him on the scrap of rug in the corner. Samson barely opened his eye to curl up. When the other boys gathered in the office, he was sound asleep. Is that a cat? One of the boys asked. It's the one we've been looking for, Travis said, and if Mark Conley is right, he can lead us to the dog nappers. We can catch the crooks, get my dog back, and turn them over to the police. How are you going to get the cat to take you to the dog nappers? Take a look at him. Where do you think he's been? Travis asked. Down a shell road, one of the boys said. He's covered with white dust. How far down? How would you know that? The boy replied. Take a look at one of his paws, Travis suggested. The cat's been walking a long time. And his hair's matted with sand spurs, another boy said, leaning close to the cat. He's been in a field somewhere. See, he's told us a lot already and he isn't even awake yet. Let him rest. Then we'll take him back. Then we'll take a ride back out of town. Maybe we can find the place where those men are holed up. The boys left Samson in the office. Travis blocked the door with a crate so the cat couldn't escape. We'll meet here about 3, he said. It'll be earlier It'll be easier riding then. I'm not doing very well in this section. Sorry. Let's continue. Samson heard the boys leave and he stirred, but he didn't get up. He woke about 1 o'clock, ready to be on his way. A quick inspection told him that he was locked in. He ignored the door and once again tried the upward way. A few quick leaps took him to the old rafters. A broken board gave him access to the outer warehouse. In a few minutes he had slipped into the freedom of the warm summer day. He paused for a few moments to get his bearings, then he headed home. At the corner of Main and Tartleton Road, he passed within yards of Mark and Maria Dolores. Since Corey had been confined to his house for the negligence in taking care of Cinnamon, Mark and Maria Dolores were returning the audio equipment alone. Samson crossed the street in front of them. Mark almost dropped the mic. "There's Samson!" he yelled. Maria Dolores looked at the dusty cat. Samson heard his name and turned to stare at them. He recognized Mark and came zigzagging back across the street. His purr reverberated in his wide chest as he rubbed against Mark's leg. "Here, old boy," Mark said gently. He put the equipment back on the bike and lifted the cat. Samson flexed his claws happily. Mark winced when he saw the raw places on the cat's paws. "Come on, buddy," he said. "Let's get you home." Their first stop was at Mrs. Walsack's house. Inga Walsack greeted him with tears of joy. Samson forgot all about the meaning of cat's dignity and responded like a kitten. That evening, Mrs. Walsack insisted on celebrating by inviting the Crime Busters and their parents over for ice cream and cake. "I'm glad Samson is home safe," Mark said, "but the case isn't closed yet. I'm worried about those dogs. If it's all right, we would like to keep investigating. No more night work?" His father's voice was stern. "No, sir, no more," Mark promised. He turned to Mrs. Walsack. "I've been thinking, when Samson is feeling better, I think he could lead us to the dognappers." "How?" "Well, Samson was covered with shell dust and sandburrs. I figure that he was held somewhere out of town, like out on old Sand Flat Road. If we take Samson back down Sandy Flat Road, we can get a general idea of where those dognappers are. And once in the area, we can use the parabolic mic to locate them." From a distance?" Mrs. Connolly sounded doubtful. "Right, and we'll call the police," Mark said quickly. "We won't try to arrest them or anything like that." Mrs. Walsack was dubious at first about letting the boys take Simon, but since the cat had recovered rapidly, she agreed to the plan. By Saturday afternoon, everything was set. Maria Dolores had fixed a comfortable basket for Samson. Corey had securely strapped the equipment she brought into place. Mark led the way across town. At Inglewood Trail, Corey hesitated. "Do we have to come this way?" "Sandy Flat Road is the most logical place for Samson to have been," Mark said. "The shell dust and sand burrs indicate a country road, and he came from this direction." "What if we run into Travis?" Maria Dolores asked. "We probably will, since he's right over there," Mark said, nodding toward the small grocery store. Travis swung around from the side of the building where he saw them. "Hey!" he yelled. "What's going on?" "How'd you get that cat?" Mark stopped. "He came home by himself." "Yeah," Travis scowled. "Well, I found him first, and he's going to lead me to my dog, so give him back." "No, I won't," Mark said. "Mrs. Walsack told us to take care of him, but we're planning on using him to find the dognappers too. You can come with us." Travis' scowl deepened. Mark didn't try to hold on to Samson. He could tell by the fur raised on the cat's back that Samson felt the tension. And any sudden move, and the cat might take off on his own. Finally, Travis said, "Okay, but no tricks. I just want my dog." In uneasy silence, the four pedaled out of town. About 5 miles out, they passed the turnoff to Culverton. "Which way?" Mark said, stopping to rest. "Culverton or Inglewood?" Maria Dolores hesitated. "If we go straight ahead, it's 10 miles to Inglewood on the point. If we turn left, it's only 2 miles to Culverton. What do you think, Travis?" Travis's reply was cut off as the van approached the intersection. It pulled out and turned toward Inglewood. The van accelerated past them. "Hey!" Travis said. "It's a green van." We're on the right track after all," said Mark. "Let's go." The four pedaled furiously, but were unable to keep the van in sight. Finally, they stopped, panting. "Landscaping," Corey said, wheezing. He had been riding a safe distance from Samson, but the dust made him gasp for breath. "Doesn't matter," Mark said, breathing hard himself. "The dognappers have to turn off the road somewhere. They're surely not going to go right into Inglewood. Not with the police chief after them. We'll just have to keep an eye out for tracks." "Well, I'm not going to fold up here," Travis said sharply. "They've got my dog. Come on." Corey pulled out a tissue and sneezed several times. Mark and Maria Dolores waited. Ahead, Travis circled his bike back toward them. "Are you coming or not?" "It's not them," Corey said between sneezes. "Landscaping, Inglewood Landscaping." "You mean we're following the wrong truck?" Mark asked. "Hey, Travis, wait!" "Let's go, slowpokes." Travis started to pedal. Maria Dolores and Corey looked at Mark. He shrugged and said, "Okay, so if it wasn't the crooks, the direction is still as good as any right now. Let's go." And that's where we're ending today. Off they're chasing a truck. Quickly they decided the van was not the correct van, which is good, but they decided to keep that direction. Okay, so they're headed toward Inglewood. All right, so we will see what happens tomorrow. Bye.